And so like that question on that check-in about having a win, like yes, it's to make you feel good. Yes, it's to help you see something, but also it's to kind of keep you grounded a little bit, because regardless, we live in this world where we want this, we want this, we want that, and the other thing, right? And the Joneses next door, but like we're surrounded with abundance right in front of us. Our family, our health, right? Like
Yep.
are jobs that at times we don't like, right? Somebody can cut you off right as you're driving the truck, John. Hey, that's not good, right? It doesn't make you
Nope.
feel good, right? But regardless, hey, even on those bad days where, the maintenance guy's not showing up and they're taking 3 hours just to fix a simple part, it's still a job, you know? And so I want to go to Jason. I want to go to Mike now, throw you guys in this. Jason, your whole entire transformation, how long you been here for, Jason? 3 years?
I'm coming up on 3 years in November. Yep.
Oh, wow, man, we should have a party.
Right?
We need to have a
Maybe we
party.
will.
We're gonna have
Donuts.
a sleepover party. Sleepover party.
A sleepover. I like it. So Jason, right? You've how about this, right? 2, 3 minutes or less, and then Mike would be the same thing for you, right? Share your whole entire Heartletics journey, right? Like where you started, where you are today, and then I'm gonna ask you a special question about your mindset, Jason, and then Mike, it would be the same thing. All right. So go ahead, Jason.
Yeah. So starting, physical wise, I was about 350, 360. Half of that was body fat, whatever. 3 years in, I'm about 240, 30%. Um, Energy levels through the roof. I got two young kids. When I first started, I couldn't do squat with them. They were just killing me every night. And now I get to repay them with that. I get to wear them out sometimes. So it's fun to be able to wrestle with them, run around with them, play football with them, all the stuff that I was missing out on in the beginning. So that was the one of the biggest changes um, between before and now. So, and then, the biggest thing, the one that I'm the proudest of, and I think is the most beneficial for me and anybody, is the shift in the mindset. Prior to Heartletics, everything was dark, negative. I didn't see any joy in anything. Everything was just crap all the time. It didn't matter what it was. And then it took a long time, and it's still to this day. I still have to work on it 3 years in, but with all the stuff that you had provided at the beginning, digging deep and opening up all those old wounds and scars, now it's light, joy, finding all that stuff, even in the periods of darkness. Like I've said, if you're willing to look, you can find that pinpoint of light and you can focus on it. So even when it's very, very dark. So I think that's the biggest win for me over the last 3 years.
I love that. And I love how you said, even in the middle of the darkness, if you could find a little bit of a light, you have to just shift your focus, right? And pinpoint on that. One of the things that you and Mike also did, and this kind of leads off to the second question, and then Mike, I'll get your feedback afterwards. Jason, do you remember the burning in the bridge exercise?
Yep.
Okay. For anybody that's not on this call or wasn't on that call when you did that exercise, talk about that exercise because like I found out that the guys that have done that challenge, like they have experienced the biggest mindset shift, like you and like Mike and others, right? So what is
Mm-hmm.
that? What is that exercise, and was it helpful for you? Feedback, I guess.
Yeah, basically, it's you just write down every negative, nasty thing that you think about yourself, or you've thought about yourself, or you think other people think about you from over the years. And then if you're not prepared and you're on one of these Zoom calls, Coach Joe will say, "Hey, why don't you read that out loud for everybody as you're burning that?" So that'll pucker you up really good. Trust me. You can ask Coach Mark about that because we did it at the same time that
Same
day.
time, yeah.
Was not prepared, but it was extremely hard to not only write it out, but then to speak it into existence with a bunch of people.
Mhm.
But then once it was burnt, it was like a weight lifted off your shoulders. It doesn't make everything better. It doesn't take everything away, but it just helps you shift into a different, like you said, perspective of life. So
Yeah, yeah. And this is going to come full circle because we're going to talk about gratitude after Mike's talks for a little bit because you're going to see something here, and this is going to be pretty cool. I'm glad I'm recording this. Mike, for everybody that does not know you, give the full rundown. You've been with Hard Legs for what, 3.5 years? 4?
Just over 3 years.
Just over 3. All right, full rundown, man. Who was Mike when you first got started? Who is Mike now? Stats, data, mindset, everything.
All right. So when I first got started 3 years ago, Mike was 240 pounds, 35% body fat, on high cholesterol medication, on high blood pressure medication, teetering on the edge of type 2 diabetes, prediabetes, no confidence, and just looking to be a better man, a better husband, better father, better leader in general. Speaking today, around 170 pounds, sub 15% body fat, off all my medications, exuding confidence, even though I still have to struggle with it every day, step outside my comfort zone. But that again is one of the things that I learned here is get comfortable with being uncomfortable because that's how you grow.
And don't forget, right? Shameless plug, bro. You got like 1,800 promotions at work. They made their own Mike Hoffman department because of you.
That is true. 3 promotions to be exact, but
I round up. So what the burning the bridge exercise you also did, right?
I did, yeah. So amongst the list of many other things, one of my biggest self-limiting beliefs is imposter syndrome, right? Not feeling, telling myself that I don't deserve what I have or what I'm getting. And putting that out there in the world, it made a world of change for me. It let me realize that, that's that negative self-talk that you got to flip the script on and tell yourself, I am deserving, I do deserve it, and I have something to bring to the table.
Yeah, I love that. I love that. So we started this whole conversation because John was giving Jason some credit for helping him on his check-in about that question. Was like, hey, what was a win that you had? And there's always something to be grateful for. There's always a win. You just have to find it. But that burning the bridges exercise, and why I wanted to bring that up, is because it's about letting go of the past. It's about destroying those self-limiting beliefs. Mike, you had to go through that. Jason, you had to go through that. It's not exactly an easy thing. And so just to kind of recap, guys, this is where you literally take out a physical piece of paper. You spend some time writing down like either the things that you don't like about you, which is typically your mindset telling you these things, a self-limiting belief of the past that's still holding on to, or maybe if somebody perceives you a certain way and it's kind of just like in the back of your head, you're kind of just upset about it, right? Write it down. All the things that you don't like, write it on a piece of paper. And what you're essentially doing is you're writing it down. And then when you get finished, you're saying those words out loud, which Jason and Mike, you guys had to both do, right? It's uncomfortable at first, but hey, it works. And then you burn it, right? You literally take a match, you burn it. And I forget where I came up with this. I probably watched like a YouTube video or heard a podcast about like some Indian tribe doing this or something like that. It's something like that. But I tell you what, as much as I thought this was woo-woo when I first did it, I was like, man, this is great. You feel good. Jason, you said the words perfectly. It's like a weight of the, just weight being taken off your shoulders. And that's essentially what it is. So I want you guys to think about this, okay? Because this all started with John, that question on your form, right? Where it's like, man, there has to be something that there's a win, right? Even though you can't see it, there has to be something there. The negativity is always going to be there. The positivity is always going to be there. We can say this is the good wolf. We can say this is the bad wolf. Now, Jason, which one wins that war?
Good wolf.
Good wolf. Okay. Now, it's always going to be a choice to find something positive, to find something that's win, right? To find something that to be grateful for. It could be anything, right? It's always going to be a choice. Now, Jason, is it a lot easier now to wake up and feel grateful for something compared to when you first got started with Heartletics?
Absolutely.
Okay. Mike, would you say the same for you?
Sure.
Okay. Now, what is and it might be a different answer. There is no wrong answer, right answer. Everybody's different, okay? What do you guys think is the easiest thing? Because let's just take the mindset out of this. And let's talk about a health and fitness journey. Let's talk about tracking our macros, right? Jason, is it a lot easier tracking your macros today than when it was when you first got started?
Yep.
Mike, same?
Absolutely.
Okay. Jason, is it a lot easier to run, right? You've been running recently. It's a lot easier to run now than when you first got signed up.
Yep.
Mike?
Sure.
Okay. Is it a lot easier to go to the gym, lift weights?
Yep.
Yeah.
Perfect. Why am I saying this, guys? It's because in one category, it can transfer into another, right? As a man, how you do one thing is how you do everything. So if you think about it, right, if you're able to work on a certain area of your life where you're like, man, I want to start looking for more wins, more positivity, more love, more peace, more abundance, more gratitude, like, then just do it. And over time, the more you do it, right, repetition is the mother of all learning. Napoleon Hill says that in his book, Outwitting the Devil. But like that right there is the secret sauce to success, is finding something, knowing that you're not going to be good at it in the very beginning, but still staying the course until eventually things start to turn and get easier for you. So Jason, what has been, I guess, like, what has helped you with the gratitude, helped you with the mindset shift through this journey the most?
For me, probably other than the really hard stuff, but at the very beginning, it was affirmations that helped transfer that, because prior it was always negative self-talk, and I had to shift that to positive self-talk. And it was hard and it sucked too, looking myself in the mirror and telling myself that. But that's what really shifted everything in the beginning.
Okay. So you're gonna use that. I'm gonna use the fitness side of things now, right? And then we're gonna see the correlation between the two. So now just imagine that, right? You mentioned that affirmations was awkward and very uncomfortable when you first got started, right? You probably felt like, man, this is stupid. Why am I even saying this to myself? Like, right?
Yep.
Okay. When eventually did it start to click where it's like, all right, this doesn't feel as awkward. It's not like fully confident yet, but it's not as awkward when we first got started. We're starting to get a little bit more used to this.
I'd say anywhere between 3 and 5 months is when it started being okay. I can see this.
Okay. Okay. Now, was that because you were doing it once a week? Was this because you were doing it every day? Were you doing it like, I guess, walk us through that.
Yeah, I mean, at the beginning, I was trying to do it every day. Now, did I get it 100% of the time? No, like everything, but I was trying to do it every single day.
Huh. So what I heard from you, right? Progression plus consistency equals results.
Correct.
Okay. Um, Jason, before I talk about the fitness side of things, let's go back to you. What diets have you tried in the past before Heartletics?
Uh, Keto, starvation, whatever that box thing was you can buy at Walmart. I don't remember what it was called, Nutrisystem or something like
Oh,
that.
Nutrisystem. Yeah.
Slim fast shakes, pills, all the fun stuff.
Okay. So now let me ask you this, right? Because this is going to be really cool how we're going to be connecting the two. If let's just say you were taking the box Slim Shady stuff at Walmart, right? And let's just say, right, you were taking that and you were consistent, right? And you were progressing with it. Would you also see results on your fat loss journey with that?
I'm sure.
Okay. Now let me ask you this, right? What made you not consistent with that?
Life is throwing a curveball, smacking me in the face.
Perfect. Let's go back to the mindset now. What helped you stay consistent, right, with the affirmations? Because I'm pretty sure those curveballs kept coming.
Yeah, and it's just like anything else. When you see that little bit of progression and you see that something's working, you stay with it, right? And then as your mindset gets stronger, when those curveballs do come flying at you, you don't stop. Because that's what I did before. I would stop because I'm like, this is a failure. I can't do it. So there's no point anymore. But you see that little progression and you just keep going.
I like that. I like that. So, John, right? I want you to think about that, right? Even though this is a small thing, right? Trying to find just a win that happened, right? We might be just viewing the
Absolutely.
wins coming from this category of life, but not looking at the bigger picture of life itself. That there's multiple categories, right? Multiple different segments and whatnot. So take what Jason just said and utilize that, right, to kind of help you with the mindset shift. Also, John, you've already improved so
Right.
much, right? But now it's to get to that next level where it's like, okay, I'm having a hard time figuring out what is a win right now. All you have to really do, right, is what Jason just said: consistency, progression, focus, right? And then sure enough, like more and more is going to come. You're going to start seeing that more often because you're looking for it. And what you're essentially doing, guys, just so everybody knows, putting this woo-woo nonsense out of the way and getting back to like actual health, you're activating what's called your RAS, your reticular activating system. So, has anybody ever like bought a car and like they've never once seen that car before, but as soon as they bought it, like you start seeing that car everywhere? Yeah, that's your RAS, right? Buy a shirt, right? Buy anything like that. It's just like it was never there. Well, I'll take that back. It was always there, right? Those cars didn't just automatically appear the day you bought yours. They were always there. They're always on the road. Your mind was not focused on that, you know? And so it's like when you train your mindset to focus on certain things, it's like training a muscle. It just gets easier over time, you know? So for you, John, you're going to start looking for more wins now because it's hey, maybe that's something you want to focus on, is improving that mindset, getting to the next level. Now it's like as you're driving that truck, where you're just thinking in your head, like, all right, what did I do this morning? Oh, I brushed my teeth. Hey, that's a win. Hey, I showed up for work on time. Hey, that's a win. Hey,
Okay.
I gave that person a compliment at the gas station. That's a win, right? Those small little things, they amplify, they grow, you know?
Okay. Got it. No doubt.
Mike, let's go to you, right? So back to the mindset. What do you think has helped you with the biggest shift, right? That has helped you with the burning the bridges exercise, that has helped you when it comes to more gratitude, all that stuff. Just what would you say?
Yeah. So like Jason, affirmations was where I started. But really that got me started. But the biggest shift I found is when I started with gratitude.
I like that.
And the practice that I used was just every morning writing down 5 things that I was grateful for. And it started out as, again, it's, when you start out, it's hard to find that win, something that you're grateful for. So it was, look around the room. What are you grateful for in the room? What are you grateful for as you walk through the house, right? And again, it's that progression. Like, you get into the practice of being grateful for the small things. And then it gets a lot easier to find those bigger wins out there that you don't always think about.
Yeah, yeah. And like I like what you said about the room. The room never changed. It's not like you guys bought a new house. The room was always there. But what changed was you, right? The person that enters the room, your mindset, Now you're starting to look for the wins, right? And look for the things to be grateful for. That's what changed, you know? I like how you guys both talk about affirmations though, and gratitude. Because if you guys think about it, Jason, what do you think would happen if like can I just use the full story that you didn't say?
Go for it.
And it's okay because I'm recording this?
Yeah, go for it.
All right. So when Jason first opted into my free landing training guide and we were texting back and forth, Jason, what did I say? Tell everybody the truth.
I'm just going to say told me to send a half naked picture.
Pretty much. It was like probably three times. Hey, is this Jason? Yes. Hey, did you get my free guide? Yes. Cool. Send me a photo of what you look like with your shirt off. That's pretty much how it went. And it was so uncomfortable and awkward for Jason. But I think that's what helped him get his butt into athletics. We're now, here we are today, coming up on 3 years in November, But Jason, imagine this, right? You still decide to sign up for athletics, as weird as I am asking for half naked photos of grown men with their shirts off. And the first week I was like, hey man, you're going to do this. This is what we do at Heartletics. You're going to do this burning the bridges exercise. Do you think that would hurt you rather than help you if you did it your very first week?
I don't know that I would have came back.
Yeah, pretty really awkward, right? You're like, wait,
Yeah.
hold on. Last week I was sending this guy a photo with my shirt off. This week I'm writing down all this stuff. What's gonna happen next week? You know,
Mm, yep.
Mike, would you say the same?
I would say the same.
Okay. So let's put this back into a health and fitness perspective now, right? Talking about the mindset. You guys just gave literally the golden secret sauce for success on fitness, on mindset, on life in general, right? Consistency plus progression, right? Equals results. But at the same time, with the affirmations, with the gratitude, those are very easy to do. You know, imagine like with your health and fitness journey, Mike, Jason, the very first week. In fact, Mike, you didn't even work out at the gym when you first got started, right?
No, it took me 3 months to get to the gym.
Okay, so let's just say the very first week, I'm like, all right, hey, you got to do the very first workout. You got to do 50 burpees and like, I don't know, like 30-second sprints for an hour straight. Do you think that would be too hard?
I would have pieced out right then and there.
Right, exactly. Exactly. You know? So it's like, I want you guys to think about this, okay? Because on your health and fitness journey, you guys are always going to go through struggles, right? Tom, that might be in your business. Dennis, this might be at home with the family. John, that might be right there at the truck, whatever. It's going to happen, right? Jason, you mentioned about all these, you know, you were consistent every single day with the affirmations, right? But hey, sure enough, you continue to progress, continue to get with it. Same thing, fitness over here, mindset over here. But the key for all this, guys, is building up momentum, right? A train uses the most amount of energy in the very beginning stages. It's not going fast, it's not going far, it's not going, you know, intense at all in the very beginning stages, but it utilizes the most amount of energy. That's why it's so important with your mindset, whether it's affirmations, gratitude, literally just anything that's easy to just walk you through it. That's how you want to get started. Because in the very beginning stages, it's always going to be the hardest. Same thing, right? On your health and fitness journey. You just heard from Mike and Jason, if they had to do, you know, a high rocks workout or burpees and backflips, you know, their very first week, they're peace out, right? Like it's not sustainable. Because once again, like the train hasn't begun moving too much. We haven't built up the momentum. Now we got to understand that, like, hey, as that train's moving, Mike, right? We'll go to you, right? How many, you probably can't even count on the hand, right? But like, would you say it's less than 10 or over 10 with injuries, bad days where you weren't showing up, travels, all that stuff, holidays? Would you say there's more than 10 or less than 10 in the 3.5 years?
Oh, definitely more than 10.
Okay. Jason, what would you say?
You're way more than 10.
Okay. Now let's wrap this all together. Okay. The mindset's over here. The fitness journey is over here. We already know in the very beginning stages, we got to start to walk before we run. As soon as we build up momentum, hey, sure enough, life's going to throw us some curveballs, right? Which they always do. Jason, what do you think is the biggest thing that has helped you stay the course, right? Keep your head in the game, stay on track, even when life throws you curveballs. And I'm not saying, guys, be perfect and track your macros and hit your protein goal and do your workouts when you're injured or you're traveling. I'm not saying that by any means, right? But like, you know, kind of just like James Clear talks about his book, Atomic Habits, a habit missed once is a mistake, but a habit missed twice is the start of a new habit. So it's like, hey, we have to learn how to, once again, get back on track or pivot, right? Focus on something a little bit different to kind of help us still progress in another area. So Jason, what would you say has helped you?
Yeah, it's knowing that this isn't about perfection, right? This is a journey. This is a lifestyle, and you don't have to be 100% every single day. I for a fact, within the last year and a half, I've been down to 1%, and that's all I had for an extended period of time. But I also knew that it wasn't going to be forever. It's just a season of life, and I gave myself grace because you have to give yourself grace, and that is a huge difference between prior to Heartletics and now. I didn't give myself grace before. That's why I failed every single time.
Okay. I like that a lot. I like that. That was deep. Mike, what about you?
I was gonna, a lot of the same message there, 1% better every day, right? So I look at, I often post something that's consistency versus intensity, right?
Yeah.
Your effort's going to be different levels every day because you can't maintain 100% intensity, but you can maintain consistency.
Yeah. Yeah. I like that. And it all starts with what you focus on, right? Somebody could, Bill was on the call earlier. I wish he would have stayed, but he always uses this phrase. I've never heard this until Bill was on one of our calls and said this. He said, how do you eat an elephant, right? I don't know who came up with that, but how do you eat an elephant? One bite at a time, right? It's the same thing with our health and fitness journey. One bite at a time, one meal tracked at a time, one day at a time, one workout at a time. It's the same thing with our mindset. Maybe that's one affirmation at a time. Maybe that's just one thing that you're focusing on, gratitude at a time, but it just takes that consistency, day by day. John, I want to end this right with you. So going back to how this started was all about, focusing, right? Shifting your focus, right? Whether that's gratitude, whether that's a win, anything like that. Okay. What do you think has helped you also, John? And what do you think, would you say is, I guess let's just break it down and make it simple, right? What do you think has helped you so far with your mindset in, being a part of Heartletics?
Well, being part of Heartletics, first of all, brought me out of, I guess let's call it a slump, because I stopped working out, stopped giving a crap about pretty much anything healthy, all of that. And as I told you, the first day we talked, I grabbed my dumbbells.
Yeah.
So, what's helped me along my journey is hearing everybody else's story and saying it's not only what you do today, it's what you consistently do. Just like Jason and Mike said, it's, you take a day off because, all right, you're feeling a little whooped mentally, emotionally, physically, whatever. You take a day off. No big deal. You get back on the bike and you ride again tomorrow. You know what I'm saying? So what's helped me also is the guidelines of what you have given me to do, to go by. Listen, check this out. I'm not telling you to starve yourself. Here, go eat a cheeseburger if you want to. It's not about having, and that's what I like about this, really. It's not, we're not into a diet.
Mhm.
This is something for life. Nobody wants to eat, rabbit food for the rest of their life.
Yeah.
We're gonna want some cheeseburgers and fries. I had pizza again this weekend. I'm paying for it now though, but it's no, seriously. The Heartletics thing this isn't just some, a fitness journey. It's a life journey.
Yeah.
Fitness,
Yeah.
fitness. The fitness part of it is like the icing on the cake. The extra you get. What I get out of this is a life, just like boom. We're talking about it. My mental state towards a win this week was garbage. Jason gets on, says, "Wake up." You spend time with your family. That's a win. So, Heartletics is, yes, it's a fitness journey, but to me, it's more of a life journey. To, once again, you're always saying it. Change your mindset. You start thinking different. You start feeling different. You start feeling different. You start getting different.
I love it. Oh man, I love it, man. That was juicy. And then before we wrap things up, Brian, I see that you're in here, man. Um you probably actually Dennis is on here the longest, right? Dennis, I think Dennis, are you 5 years or 6 years in?
I coach Dennis.
Four? Four? Yeah, okay. So how long have you been in here for, Brian? Harletics.
2020, August of 2020, so five-ish, going on closer to six, pushing six.
Okay, perfect, man. And you, when I'll give you the quick rundown, right? With everybody, Brian's story, unless I'm missing anything. But Brian, when we first talked, right, you were doing the slim fast, you were doing the keto, the fasting, MyFitnessPal, all that stuff. You're working a rotating swing shift. Nothing seemed to be working, right? And I was like, hey man, let's hop on a call, let's talk. You were like, man, who's this robot? Why does he want to talk to me? But then figured it was me actually on the other line of the call. And sure enough, you put your trust right in Heartletics. We helped you lose over 85 pounds and keep the weight off, right?
Right.
I'm just gonna ask you a few quick questions because I know we're short on time. Brian, have I ever told you once never to drink alcohol?
No.
Have I ever told you once you can't eat a donut?
No, you've got to encourage those things.
Have I ever told you you can't eat pizza or a burger?
No, sir.
All right, now I want to ask you this now. Have you ever, right, drink alcohol, ate pizza, ate a burger, ate a donut in part of your Heartletics journey?
Yes, absolutely.
So what's the secret, right? What's the secret then to losing the weight and keeping it off, right? Whether that's something with the fitness side that you want to share, or whether that's something with the mindset that you want to share, because that's what we've been talking about a lot today.
I think it was a mix because you learn, you change your mindset, and then you learn the fitness side of it. But I was able to understand that I could have a little bit here and there, have the pizza, have the alcohol, whatever it may be. And like Jason and Mike both said, give yourself some grace. Understand that you're not cutting yourself off cold turkey. I've got to cut this because that's what my program says, or I got to cut this out completely because this is what my program says. No, my program says enjoy that because you're going to get right back on the horse tomorrow and grind again. And so it's that 80-20 sanity foods. You give yourself a little. You often use having birthday cake with your kid. You know, on your kid's birthday, you don't want to have some cake because you're on a diet. No, man. Who wants to live like that? So, yeah, giving yourself that grace and being able to understand tomorrow I'll get right back on it and I'll start grinding again. But today I'm going to reward myself because up until now, I've killed it. So it was just a whole different way of thinking about eating correctly, not dieting.
Yeah. Yeah, it's like the horse before the carrot. I think that's the phrase how they like to say. So it's like getting the knowledge. And maybe for you and most of the guys here, it's like actually getting permission. Hey man, you can have a cold one. Hey man, you can have a burger. Like you're not going to put on body fat. You can have it. In fact, like here's 200 calories that's in a donut. Here's 2,500 calories within your goal. Just don't eat that baked potato that's also 200 calories. Just swip and swap, right?
Right.
And it's just like, hey, you gain that knowledge. It gives you that freedom, that permission to say, hey, I can have this. And then sure enough, like it doesn't, because I don't know from you guys, but at least for me, there's been plenty of times before I got certified in nutrition where I would eat something and I would feel completely guilty about it, either later on that night or the next day. And I wouldn't like eat anything the next day. I would just do a whole bunch of cardio to try to burn it off. Has anybody ever experienced that?
Absolutely.
Horrible experience. Literally, like talking about like that is literally the worst relationship ever with food, honestly. But it wasn't until I got certified when they broke it all down. And so once again, Brian, for you, maybe it was the same thing. Somebody had to just break it down, give you that knowledge and be like, all right, yeah, that's cool. That makes sense. I could drink this, I could eat like this, and it doesn't have to be this self-sabotage the next day, you know?
Right. You understand that you're not sabotaging yourself by having that. Maybe it's a reward. Maybe you are going over your calorie goal, or maybe because we've learned a lot how to make it fit in and still be in your calorie goal and use that pizza, use those carbs, use that fat, and the next day you crush a workout because you refed, man. It's amazing to be able to understand that stuff.
Yeah, 100%. 100%.